Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Fatal Invitation Part 10. Today we're going to be talking about the tragic life of Shonda Shar. At 9:30 in the morning on January 11th, 1992, Hope Rippey, who would do as instructed by Melinda Loveless and Lori Tackett, would place the body of Shonda Shar on the side of the road on Route 421, right in Jefferson's Proving Grounds, and would take the bottle of gasoline and the Pepsi bottle and begin pouring it over her body. Hope Rippey would say in a later interview that the very last thing that Shonda Shar would say to the girls is, as she was pouring the gasoline over her body, Shonda Shar would be begging for her mother, and Hope Rippey would just light the match. The other four girls would get inside the car and begin driving off, but Melinda Loveless was not convinced that Shonda Shar was dead. Brutalizing and sexually assaulting her wasn't enough. No, Melinda Loveless was not going to stop until she had completely destroyed every bit of Shonda Shar. And the girls would pull the car around, and she would take what gasoline was left in the bottle and pour it over her body. It said that the four girls would then drive to a nearby McDonald's to get some breakfast after murdering the girl. The next thing that was reported was probably one of the most disgusting things I think any human being would ever do, and this is in part why I always said these four girls were not even human. It said that as they would purchase their breakfast at McDonald's, the girls would then spend the next time actually making jokes and laughing at the fact that their sausages resembled the burnt corpse of Shonda Shar. And this would be the time that Hope Rippey would actually do something. After not doing anything all night when there was a window of opportunity to saving this 12-year-old girl, it said that while they were at McDonald's, Hope Rippey would sneak away to ask to use the bathroom, and she would actually go use a payphone and phone up a friend and tell the friend about what had actually happened the night prior. I again just think this is just disgusting that she had all these opportunities to save this poor girl's life, and the only time that she actually went to tell someone was when they had already in fact killed the 12-year-old girl. Lori Tackett would take Hope Rippey and Tony Lawrence back home, but Melinda Loveless would actually stay with Lori Tackett. And it is said that she would begin phoning friends, completely proud and beaming for what she had done to this girl. Two friends in particular would be friend Krista Wathern and ex-girlfriend Amanda Harvin. And both girls were very skeptical that Melinda Loveless had done such a thing, so they would ask for Lori Tackett and Melinda Loveless to pick them up. And Lori Tackett had no problem, as they would get in the car, they would pick up Crystal and Amanda and take them back to Lori Tackett's house. Lori and Melinda would take the two girls over to her car and they would pop the trunk, and you see they had cleaned up their clothes and tried to clean up the best way possible, but the one spot that they refused to clean up was in fact the trunk of the car. And as the girls would look inside this trunk, they would see the large amount of dry blood that was inside the car. Amanda Harvin would say that she was so disgusted that she would immediately ask Lori and Melinda to take her home. Lori would take Amanda Harvin and Melinda Loveless to Amanda Harvin's parents' house, and before getting to her parents' house, Melinda Loveless would beg Amanda Harvin not to tell anyone what she had told her, which she would promise not to. And Melinda Loveless would kiss Amanda and tell her that she still loved her. In a later interview, Amanda Harvin would actually admit that this was the one time that she did not tell anyone. And when she was asked why, she said that she doubted that she actually did anything. And this is after the fact that Melinda Loveless had showed her the dry blood in the trunk of the car, had actually told Amanda in great detail what they had done to this girl. and she still claimed she didn't believe it. So, I personally call BS. Around this time, it would roughly be about 10:30 in the morning, right around the time that the two boys that were from Jefferson would be driving on Route 421, and they would come across Jefferson Proving Ground, and they would see the ambers and charred remains of what they originally thought was a mannequin, and they would walk upon it and would realize it was the charred remains of Shonda Shar. The boys would end up phoning Sheriff Buck Shipley, and they would come down to Jefferson Proving Grounds, and they would see the charred remains, and they quickly seen the body, and they would notice that the body was in what authorities will call a pugilistic state, which is a reference used for burn victims where the corpses have their arms stretched out and their fists clenched. And upon seeing the scene, the police had originally thought that this was originally a drug deal gone bad, and this is where they began trying to figure out who the burnt body was. After Tony Lawrence and Hope Rippey would tell Sheriff Buck Shipley this story, he would turn around and immediately tell his other deputies that he demanded a dental record comparison for 12-year-old Shonda Shar and the burn victim that they had found. Unfortunately for Buck Shipley, this would only confirm his worst nightmares, as the dental records of 12-year-old Shonda Shar and the dental records of what they had of the burnt corpse they had found on Route 421 would actually be a complete match. And they would quickly place Tony Lawrence and Hope Rippey under arrest. After placing the girls on arrest, they would waste no time and actually arrest Melinda Loveless and Lori Tackett on January 12, 1992. And this is where their mugshots would be taken, is on January 12th. There's so much that I want to say about these mugshots. There's so much. And as the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And if that's the case, then it's pretty fair to assume this picture here is probably worth 1,000,000 words. None of them good. Lori Tackett and Tony Lawrence just have these blank expressions. There's absolutely nothing in the eyes when it comes to Lori Tackett and Tony Lawrence. They are just completely soulless. But that's not the most disturbing thing. The most disturbing thing is the face of not only Melinda Loveless, but Hope Rippey. What do you have to smile about? And I can't even fathom why. This has been 2 days at this point in time of our story. It has been 2 days since they have abducted, tortured, sexually assaulted, and murdered 12-year-old Shonda Shar. It's been 2 days. Hope Rippey, who claimed to be so disgusted by the act and that she was forced against her will, is beaming, smiling ear to ear, but she's supposedly disgusted. Melinda Loveless, even bigger smile. They are so evil, they cannot contain their proudness. They are so happy at what they did, they cannot contain it. This is probably, I think, one of the most gut-wrenching things. And here's the sad thing. The police had to notify Shonda Shar's parents. And this is the mugshot they would see. their daughter's murderers. Smiley.